just taking like a 5 or 10 minute break after doing my push-ups and my abs and my bicep curls to do my jog walks and then take the walk. Yeah, let me put this on. So I found this version of Funky Town that's 12 minutes, just over 12 minutes. So I've been doing like either 15 or 20 minutes before I take a break. So it's just when I was trying to pick out music for the whole entire thing, it was not working out. So if you're going to take 30 seconds of a break anyway, you might as well pick out another song at that point. Just seems to be working out better. I saw another cool bird that's new. It's tiny. It almost looked like a hummingbird, but I don't think it is. Well, let's do my bicep curls. I've been using that amps in the trunk. that jump around trap song I like for my bicep curls. Amps in the trunk, amps in the trunk. So I can tell there's a huge disruption in the force because of the thermonuclear weapons and the fact that there's clearly nothing else going on but clearing out populations of people. So all bad things come to an end. It does happen. So amps in the trunk, amps in the trunk. There's supposed to be a Facebook available for these people if they want to type all that nastiness like they did on that Facebook page from that dude that I explained in the last live stream. It's an example of how a god uses a persona or something to control them. It's part of God's kingdom come, right? Where afterwards that monster is probably regretful. Like he's probably like, I should have done this, that. You can't because it's almighty. Yes, I'm sure some of that's frustrating. When you go, why was I so nice to her? Because God made you think that that's what you wanted to accomplish as a goal. That's why. I don't know what you do typically. I don't know if you beat up women or you rape them or you give them an STD or whatever the fuck that was. But he clearly made you think to do a different thing. That's what that whole entire 6 weeks was. Right? He made you come up with a different goal so that you wouldn't do worse things to me. That's why. So I don't know why that came up this morning about right, like it's just the person with the screw loose, but he probably comes from a group of drug addicts that have gotten that sick where they, like they told you, they hate sober people, they hate my species, they hate other members of their species that are sober and have morality, and they're going to teach everybody lessons and stuff. Yeah, just not much brain matter left, folks. Like the smiling and laughing and stuff, yeah. Amps in the trunk, amps in the trunk. Amps in the trunk, amps in the trunk. That's probably his true self that day. He was wicked mean that day. Like, and again, embarrassed me in front of a toilet. And that wasn't enough. He then started hanging around with the said toilet. There can never be enough abuse done to a person. So apparently God made it think it wanted to do some weird trickery so that I got all of that information in 6 weeks from the whole group of them. And people aren't going to be helping them and stuff. It's just, it doesn't mean abuse them, just, aren't you those people? Wasn't Mary just out here? Okay. What's your name today? Okay. We slept till like 3 o'clock. Okay, so you never had any intention of actually meeting me that day. Okay. And is that my fault? That makes me a bad person. Your persona is cracking then. We slept till like 3 o'clock on a step at the Braintree train station. I know. See how God doesn't let you actually lie to me? Got bored? That's a serious fucking God sent illusion right there. We slept till like 3 o'clock on a step at the Braintree train station. Usually they get mad when they realize that you're not actually dumb. I experienced that with Phil, who used to be Jack the Ripper and used to be Jim Morrison. As soon as he realized, it was like he just had this look on his face like, you fucking bitch. But God contains them like, I will fucking kill you. Really? I don't think so. Um, so thank you for the testimony. So you things get angry when it clicks in your head that I'm not dumb. I'm just listening to what you're saying. Like you were never tricking me the entire time. That's why I don't have sex with you things and I don't get emotionally attached to you. Okay, so I don't know. I tried to figure this out when they were doing this with the James Franco thing. It's some sort of insanity that God explained. It has to do with like being like basically have a child's brain matter remaining. It's something they do I guess with their parents, but they're supposed to be adults and their brain makes up stuff and you go like yeah, like you're pretending something and then are you gonna hurt the mother by these weird actions? Yeah, like it's some sort of weird phenomenon where that becomes a thing they're doing or they tell themselves they're doing. They make people care about them and then take it away. Ah. Okay. Okay. You realize that no one can actually care about you, right? Okay, that's wickedly sick. It takes longer than 6 weeks to build that type of long term. Like a healthy person goes, it immediately goes click because nothing you presented about yourself is true. Not you can actually hurt really a person. It comes from them never being able to get over anything, including their own parental detachment. Like that's why you'd still be talking about your mother and stuff when you're 36 and you were in a foster care. You're not even like still in touch with her and you're still talking about her. So nah, I wouldn't say that. That sounds like people that don't want to accept these things are monsters. That's why you would make up that part of it. Like if you were like doing basic clinical psychology and your premise is that these things are not psychopathically deranged and in a constant persona that shifts and changes, right? It's been 13 years and they're not off of drugs and they're using that heavy. So you have to get rid of that premise, but I understand it. Right. Will you go, um, is it possible that he was like making himself shift like that? Because clearly, whatever happened after you left the library that day, there's no turning back at that point. And he knows it. I don't think so. I think he's a literal monster that doesn't give a fuck. He explained himself to me uh, pretty clearly that he's completely psychopathic and sociopathic and doesn't care about anybody. And he goes around bragging about being brought to people's house in a day and then whatever it is that goes on, and he's got wicked distorted thoughts. He's a sex offender. So it's just stop making up excuses for a monster. It doesn't matter. I at this point, it's probably not even a person's name, and that's why they're closing hospitals when they found out about it. Right, like these people have gotten that sick. You got to think 15 years how sick they are with the community. They literally printed out armbands, and it's not even a real person. Right, and you just go, "What the fuck? You printed out a hospital band for a person that doesn't exist? We're closing all your hospitals. No more community theater. No more community theater. Done." Um, so even if there was a person doing that, then there's not going to be any more Jesus of Nazareth. That person is not a human being, is not my species, and is going poof. It's really that simple. Probably not the dude's actual name. So community theater over. I looked it up. There's no such court cases for me or him. All of it was a bunch of nonsense with a very, very sick group of people. So let's never have that happen again on this land piece, shall we? Please. That is like, at what point is enough for the planet that has to observe this shit? Um, so, all right, I got to do the rest of my things. Let me shut this off now.